Thank you for tuning in once again for My 3 Cents. As you can see, it's a very special week this week. We got Scotty on board. Thanks for joining the show, Scotty.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
It's quite a pleasure. So, Scotty's going to finally let us know why the hell he's taking Justin Upton so early in all the drafts, and then he's going to give us his big, bold predictions for 2010. So, it's pretty exciting. Before we do that, it's Fantasy Week 2. There's a lot of action going on, so we want to touch on that real quick. First of all, last night, Ubaldo Jimenez threw a no-hitter. So congratulations to Ubaldo. I know someone who's very happy to see that.
Oh, Big Rich.
Of course, Ubaldo is his man. Also last night, we had a 20-inning game for the Mets, so that was exciting as well.
Watched every single inning of that game.
I did not, so that's also impressive. And something that happened in that game, Jose Reyes, over 20 innings, he couldn't even manage one single hit, so he's starting to tire me out a little bit, hoping he pulls through soon. It's early in the season, but our top 5 hitters, we got 3, Utley, Pujols, Pedroia, no surprise there. But then Nelson Cruz and Vernon Wells are also in the top 5. The clock has not struck crap on Wells yet. I'm waiting to see how long he can keep this up. Top 5 pitchers, again, Ubaldo, Halladay, Lincecum, CC. You expect them to be there all year. And then Jared Weaver is 5th, so that's quite a surprise.
Yeah, it's a surprise.
Seems like all the moving pieces are working out for Keith right now. And speaking of Keith, he's one of the 3 dominant teams in the 33rd division so far. I'd say it's him, Newton, and Rich.
Pitching.
Pitching. And Newton's going to be very hard to beat this year unless something goes wrong with his pitching. So that's about it. That gives us our Fantasy Week 2 wrap-up, 33rd division. I want to get into it with Scotty. So, Scotty, before we even get to your man crush Upton, let us know, 2010, what was your general strategy approaching the drafts?
My strategy was plain and simple. Get who you want. There's a lot of players who I have in all 3 leagues, such as Amos Ramirez, Steven Drew, Matt Halladay, Justin Upton, Matt Garza, Francisco Liriano, Brad Penny. All those guys I got in all 3 leagues. Gordon Beckham I got in 2 leagues. I just went out and got the players that I wanted. I did the research on them, and basically I go with the Rich's philosophy of take who you want.
Okay, like father, like son there. And that's pretty impressive if you have a list of guys you want and you control the draft to the extent that you get all of them. That's real good. I know you made some trades as well to get those guys.
Yes.
So, all right, so that's your approach, and take who you want. That gets us right to Justin Upton. So, I mean, you kept this guy in my league. You took him 15th in the East Coast League, and then we thought that was early. You took him 11th in the SNS League. So what's the deal with Justin Upton? Why the hard-on for him?
Well, everyone wants to know, why is Justin Upton the cat's meow? Yeah. 2 major stats jump off the board to me. First, OPS, which is on base plus slugging. All right, I look at that because in fantasy you want players that get on base and hit home runs, hit doubles, triples, because they add for more points. Justin Upton's was .98 last year.
Okay.
That's pretty good. That beat out Longoria, and Ryan Braun wasn't not too far off Ryan Braun's numbers either. So on base percentage for a 21-year-old, that's pretty damn good.
That's impressive, yeah.
The next stat is ISO. It was created by Branch Rickey in the 1950s. Basically what it does, it attempts to separate and measure a player's ability to hit for power. Upton's ISO last year was .233.
And that's good, I guess?
That's very, very good. Before his 22nd birthday. Only a couple players have done that. The list is Willie McCovey, Ted Williams, Albert Pujols, Darryl Strawberry, Joe DiMaggio, Eddie Matthews, Jimmy Fox, Joe Mauer, Babe Ruth, and Frank Robinson.
That is quite a group of players there, and anything with Jimmy Fox is good.
A couple Hall of Famers.
Yeah, that's impressive. So,
yes.
All right, so he's got the OPS, he's got the ISO, he's the power-speed combination. What about the 137 strikeouts? That
is a problem. He does strike out a lot. With any young players comes strikeouts. There's a couple other players that are drafted in the first round that no one thought their strikeouts really didn't matter, and that's Braun and Longoria. Braun struck out 121 times and walked 57. Longoria struck out 140 times and walked 72.
Okay.
Not too off from Upton's 55 to 137.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't see anyone backing off on those guys. So, all right, pretty impressive. We'll see where he finishes up, but you definitely made some reaches for him, so good luck with that. So let's get into your 5 bold predictions for 2010. First bold prediction, fire.
Upton, top 10 all fantasy players this year.
Wow. So top 10, no wonder he's drafting him 11th and 15th. He thinks he's getting value here. All right, so we've said enough about Justin Upton. Number 2, what's your next bold prediction?
Next, Magglio Ordonez finishes in top 7 of all outfielders and has better fantasy points than Grady Sizemore.
Wow, okay. All right, Grady Sizemore I guess he's coming off an injury. I'm taking it you're not too high on him this year. Maglio Ordonez is 36 years old. We know he did it in the past, but I mean, we were in elementary school last time this guy finished in the top 7. Most people have him projected to finish, as a 4th or 5th outfielder. So why the resurgence this year for Maglio?
Well, last year he went through a difficult time with his wife getting diagnosed with cancer. He put on a lot of weight, had an awful first half last year. But in the second half, he rebounded, hit 361, had the best batting average of anyone in the second half. Great spring training. Says he's motivated to have a better year. I think he will. So far, so good this year, and I can see him having a high average. Doesn't strike out that much. The home runs will come down, but hey, I'll deal with 20 home runs and a 330 average.
I hear you. I think Maglio will have a good year. Top 7 is quite a reach, though, and I think Sizemore will have more points, so we'll see where that ends up. But next bold prediction, what do you got?
Next bold prediction is Brad Penny wins 16 games.
Oh, sweet 16 for Brad Penny. That's a lot, considering last year he had 11. The year before that, in 2008, he had 6 and an ERA of 6. So, I mean, why the resurgence for Brad Penny now all of a sudden?
Dave Duncan.
Dave Duncan, okay.
Dave Duncan. Enough said. Yes, Dave Duncan, he's a pitcher. He's a master of pitchers. He knows how to teach pitching. What he's going to do is teach Penny how to, pitch to batters. Let him, it doesn't matter if he gives up 5 hits, or let his defense play around him. That's going to make him last into games longer. Last year he finished, only went like 4 innings through 120 pitches in 4 innings. This year I see him lasting a lot longer. That's already been proven in his last win. He only had 83 pitches in 7 innings. So I see him having a great bounce back year, and
okay, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Dave Duncan's done it before, so we'll see what he can do with Mr. Brad Penny. All right, next bold prediction.
Gordon Beckham, top 30 of all batters.
Wow. Okay. Gordon Beckham, everyone loves this guy. I mean, everyone's got a crush on Gordon Beckham. But it's his second year. He's still a young player. Why do you see him taking such a big step so early in his career?
First, I see his career going just like David Wright's. David Wright, you look at their stats for the first year, are identical. He was an 8th overall pick out of Georgia in 2008. Only spent maybe a month in the minor leagues. They brought him up. They switched his position from shortstop to third base. The kid still hit. And now they switched his position back to second base. This kid is a natural hitter. He's going to hit. I see him just being the next David Wright. Maybe a little bit less pop, a little bit less RBIs, but I think the numbers will a little less steals too. But I think the numbers will match up. I think he'll have a higher average than David Wright.
All right, and David Wright did make the top 30 his second year, so we'll see if Gordon can follow in those footsteps. All right, one more bold prediction for 2010.
Matt Garza, AL Cy Young.
Wow. Okay, AL Cy Young, not holding back on that one. So that is quite bold considering he had 8 wins last year. Plays in the toughest division in baseball, and the other AL pitchers like CeCe, Greinke, Felix, Beckett, these guys, there's a lot of good pitchers in the AL, so why such a big step for Garza so early in his career as well?
Well, Nick, he got the worst run support of any pitcher in his staff last year. I see him having a bounce back year in wins. He has a better offense, better defense this year. I see him, winning 16, 17 games, being right up there with CeCe. The other 3 guys you mentioned, Greinke, Verlander, Felix. Yeah, those guys I think are going to come down a little bit this year. I see him stepping up. He's in his prime.
Okay.
So I see him being right there with CeCe for the vote.
Okay. I hope you're right, too. I'm tired of the Yankees and Red Sox running away with everything. So, all right, that's 5 bold predictions. Thank you very much, Scotty. I know you probably have a lot more predictions over there in your sheets.
Many more.
It's clear you've done your research. So keep tuning in. Scotty will be back hopefully monthly to give us his feedback on the season. But thank you again for joining the show. Thank you all for tuning in. This week we lost the Rock God and Peter Steele. So we're going to do something a little different, send you out with a little memory to Peter Steele. But thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time on My 3 Cents.